My name is Yancy Naughton, and the speech that I'm going to give is entitled Beyond PPC. I'm going to talk about multi-channel bidding and sawdust monetization. Just want to get a quick hands. How many here are kind of on the publisher side that are generating traffic, maybe through a network? And how many of you guys are affiliates or advertisers? Cool. All right. So we'll get started here. The company that I'm with is WantsTraffic and WantsTraffic. WantsTraffic obviously is for people who have traffic and want to monetize it, and WantsTraffic is for people who want to buy traffic. So we are a multi-channel bidding platform, but that's basically what we do. Today's outline, I'll first basically introducing myself, talk about the concept of a black box versus an auction and what value an auction has in the affiliate marketing space. I'm going to talk about adding something to the landscape. Everybody wants either more traffic or more money for their traffic, and I'm going to suggest that you do something to deserve it. I'll talk about the current traffic landscape, both on the PPC and the alternative bidding channels. I'll talk about the CPA model versus the CPC model. And then educate you guys on the idea of sawdust monetization. I'll explain that. And how one man's come up is another man's treasure. I'll do a quick UI demo on how you can effectively monetize or bid on traffic, and then have a quick final thought. So, like I said, my name is Yancy Naughton. I'm the founder of WantsTraffic and WantsTraffic. Currently, as well as a partner with a company called Namerific, which sells, it's a domain name marketplace, sells branded domain names. I've previously been general manager of Zero Park, developed the advertiser network at Elephant Traffic, founder of print publications in the past as well. So, this is, anyone know what painting this is? This is Le Rêve. Steve Wynn was probably the most famous recent owner of that painting. It was his favorite painting. It's obviously a Picasso, and I think he bought it for about $150 million. And quite famously, he had some very famous friends over to his house, and he took the painting down off the wall, and he said, you know, he just sold it to somebody privately, and he put his elbow through it and ripped it. A sold $120 million painting. But the reason I use this slide and this painting, long story short, he repaired the painting and sold it for $155 million at Christie's. So I present the question, if you owned this and you wanted to sell it, would you send it to a black box solution? Would you send it to some guy and say, sell this painting for me? Would you send it to Google and say, hey, Google, sell this painting for me and give me some money next month? I don't care what you sell it for or who you sell it to and what percentage of it you give to me. Or would you bring it to the art auction and sit in the room and watch them sell it and know that you're going to get 85% of the sale price and know that you have the right to no sell any bid under what you deem the product is worth? So I think the answer is obvious, that you would sell your art at an art auction. You would sell it in an open environment. You would expect Sotheby's or Christie's to fill the room with people who wanted to buy Picassos. And that would be their job, and your job would be to provide a Picasso to sell. And that arrangement would be worth approximately 15% to the auction house for selling it, for providing that service. So how do you guys sell your traffic? How do you guys buy your traffic? Whether you're buying the traffic or selling the traffic, I argue that it's better to buy it or sell it at an auction. Now, some people would say, well, it's better for the sellers of the traffic, obviously, because you get more people arguing or fighting over the bone and raising the price of the traffic. But I think it's also better for the advertisers as well, because it gives them access to traffic they want and that they know is worth, they know what it's worth, and it allows them to basically compete on the traffic. So the ROI might be a little lower if you're buying the traffic in a fair and open environment for the advertiser, but they're going to see more traffic, and in the long run, I'm going to be able to make more money by having a higher volume. So the question is, how do I know if I'm using a black box solution? This is more geared to the publishers or the networks that would be selling their traffic either directly to advertisers or to other networks. The first question is, do you know what the traffic sold for? The greatest advertising agency or advertising network in the world, the greatest advertising network that's ever been created is Google. No one's ever put that many advertisers or monetized that much advertising space in the history of the world. But they don't tell you what they sold your product for. They don't tell you how much of it that you got. They don't tell you who they sold it to. They don't let you set the reserve price or the CPM, and they don't really involve you very much in the optimization of the advertising. So if I don't know is the answer to any of those questions, then you are monetizing through a black box. So this here slide kind of talks about the current PPC landscape. If you're buying or selling your clicks through Google AdWords or what have you, or if you're selling it, this is generally who we're talking about. And Yahoo and Bing are a very, very small percentage of the market, and then the second tier and third tier market is significantly smaller than both. So when talking about the current alternative traffic network landscape, these are some of just a few of the choices that you have. Most of these companies, I think, have some representation here at Affiliate Summit. 50 Unread, Engage, our company, Zero Park, is, I think, a premium sponsor of the, and all these companies, they basically give you alternatives to buying or selling your traffic. So the next slide is my suggestion. When you come, whether you're selling your traffic or buying your traffic, I think 4,000 or 5,000 people are at this conference, right? And everybody's kind of looking what other people are doing, trying to duplicate successful campaigns or duplicate successful monetization strategies. My suggestion to everybody in this room is to do something different, add something to the landscape. And ask yourself, what am I adding to the landscape? Am I just finding some ad that looks good on what runs where, or box of ads, and am I duplicating it? If I'm duplicating it, what am I adding to the landscape? And alternately, from the traffic perspective, if you're producing traffic, are you producing quality traffic? Are you doing something different or better than someone else? So my suggestion is, if you're an advertiser and you're coming to an advertising network or a PPC network or cost per visitor type of network, there's a lot of traffic out there. A lot of traffic that's kind of open on self-serve platforms like the ones here. I think the best thing I can tell you guys who are looking for more traffic is networks are looking for you to bring something to the table that isn't already there. So a duplicated campaign, I mean, what value do you add to the environment if you're just duplicating a page and bidding against someone who's been running that page for 4 years? Maybe they probably already have 3 or 4 bidders doing a very similar campaign. Do something different, bring a different vertical, bring a different, innovate a different landing page, engage the customer in a different way. If it's an email platform, which is generally not a self-serve type of situation, you're gonna have to do something to prove that you're not going to rotate out the compliant lander with a less compliant lander. So there's innovation, there's trust, there's compliance and proof that you comply, and that you don't cause more problems for the network than you're spending. I mean, it's not a matter, generally the best traffic in the space has more than one bidder already. I think you guys all know that. You know, if you want to win the bid, be closer to the money, be better at the conversion, better at the customer engagement, do something different. It's not just better, right? In the email space, the publishers of email can't keep running the same creative over and over again. They have an opt-in list of 10, 20, 100 million, to 10 million, whatever it is. There's a diminishing return on sending the same creative over and over again. So maybe what you're bringing to the space is just something significantly different, substantially different, that they can offer the same client that they've been monetizing for years. A new creative, a new vertical, a new offer, something hopefully relevant, but doesn't necessarily have to be better all the time. It just has to be different sometimes. Excuse me. So I think that's pretty much from the perspective of a bidding platform, a traffic provider. I think that's what nobody talks about. And that I think the best advice that I can give everybody who's looking for more traffic. Bring something different to the table. Bring something new. And if you're monetizing traffic, if it's unique, if it's a RTB feed, if you're trying to arbitrage traffic and sell it on a platform, the same applies. Get some unique inventory. Don't get inventory that the bidding platforms already have from 2 or 3 feeds already. So everyone understand what I'm talking about with regard to adding something to the landscape? I think this is probably the most essential thing that you can take away from this conference, or from this session. So this pertains, I think, more to the networks or the traffic providers, or the people who have a lot of traffic in their maybe large media buyers. But this slide illustrates something that I like to talk about. This guy here is dumping the fryer oil out into a 55-gallon drum. And I don't know if you know this, but 10 years ago, every restaurant in the United States that had a deep fat fryer had to clean it out every day or two, change the oil. And obviously you couldn't pour it down the drain or dump it in the trash, so you put it in a barrel, and you paid some guy $5 or $10 or $15 to come out to your restaurant, pick it up, and take it away, because you couldn't throw it away with your trash. But now, if you want to buy used fryer oil from McDonald's, you go to their bidding platform and you put in a bid for where you want the oil from and how much do you want to pay. And the people that do that are converting it into biodiesel. And I think that's a great example of taking something that is thought of as not having value to its current owner and finding something, a good place and a good revenue. The difference between 10 years ago and now, the price of diesel has gone down, so the price of the biodiesel has gone down as well. But as of 6 months ago, that's from paying $10 to getting $10 for that same barrel. So it's significant. If you think about this and you put this in the back of your head, when you're trying to add something to the landscape, think, hey, I got all this traffic that really doesn't convert for me. Maybe somebody else sees that as the biodiesel. Same thing applies. Applies to the furniture maker. The guy who made this cabinetry is, some fine woodworker. He's got a room with all the machines, and the room is covered in sawdust. And he wouldn't dream of making any furniture and selling it out of that sawdust. But you have IKEA made 2.5 billion euros last year making furniture out of sawdust. So think about that. One man's sawdust is 2.5 billion euros to IKEA. So that comes to our assertion that all traffic has value, but not all traffic is suitable for all advertisers. So this is pertaining to networks, if there's any networks in the room, considering international redirects. So you have a campaign, the advertiser wants US mobile traffic. Your affiliates send you Canadian traffic as well as US. They don't maybe filter it properly. The IPs come in from all over the world. Maybe it's an email campaign. You don't know where the click's going to come back from, but the advertiser only wants certain things. So what do you do with that? The cleaner that you make the traffic, the more targeted is the more value it's going to have on an auction platform. So basically, if let's say you had a University of Phoenix lead generation campaign, University of Phoenix clicks on Google cost about $27 in the United States on a desktop. People fill out forms or they do click to call on it. But it's very expensive traffic, that's my point. So if you had a duplicate, the advertiser, University of Phoenix, would only buy a visitor once, so you wouldn't send it to the offer. You would send it somewhere else. Find IKEA to send your sawdust to. Find a biodiesel recycler. But if you send it just as traffic, they're not going to assume that it's $27 traffic. They're going to assume that it's garbage. So they're going to send it to the lowest common denominator type of offer. But if you had basically passed along the information that this was a duplicate from a very high value vertical, then the advertisers who are interested in that vertical, who by definition, by default, it wouldn't be duplicate to them, right? So they could monetize it in their way, and they would bid it much more for University of Phoenix traffic than they would bid on run-of-network traffic. The point is, you're going to redirect your traffic, redirect your duplicates, redirect your wrong IPs, do it with a keyword passed. Let people, it's like that art auction analogy. If you wrap the Picasso in paper and try to sell it, it's not going to sell for as much as if you authenticate the origin of it as well. So there are other redirect services other than has traffic, but they all allow networks and advertisers to monetize incorrectly targeted traffic or suspect traffic as well. So why would you do that? Like you spend all your time trying to get traffic. You spend your money getting traffic. And a lot of people think, well, I don't want to give up this traffic. I spent a lot of effort getting this traffic. Well, why did you want the traffic? You wanted the traffic because of the revenue that the traffic generates. So why not get the revenue without all the aggravation that comes from duplicates, comes from suspect IPs? And that's the kind of solution that an auction, I think, would provide. So who benefits most by redirecting traffic? Certainly affiliate networks. They're mostly keen to the idea that that sawdust is worth something, that dirty fry oil is worth something. So they send the duplicates, their proxy traffic, the wrong device. If they're looking for iOS, they send the Android somewhere else, and they sell it to the highest bidder. And also large volume email marketers do very well with this as well. The type of traffic you should filter, the international redirects, the down offers, suspect traffic from affiliates, and media buys and whatever you can make more money on. So think about that if you're an affiliate. If you are sending traffic that isn't targeted exactly where the advertiser or the network has requested it, then you should filter it before they do, because you're just giving them free revenue. I think we're running a little short on time, so I'll welcome you guys to come by our booth if you're looking for a user interface or looking for access to the bidding or monetization platform. And I guess I'll finish with this slide. So the question is, what do these two women have in common? This is the chick from Dodgeball with the unibrow, and this is, and of course, it's the same girl. But it's the same girl looked at in two different, from two different eyes. So that's what you should think about that traffic that you're maybe sending to an affiliate network, or an affiliate network is filtering out from an advertiser. Some other guy sees her quite differently. So I guess I would open up to any questions at this point. Anyone? Okay. Well, we'll be here after the show.